Hello, welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel. Well, the president rules that churches are essential after 2.5 months of them being locked down, says they can reopen this weekend. Trump said, I will override the governors if they stop houses of worships from reopening. Okay, that is the worst Trump impersonation ever. All right, well, everybody said hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh my God, like we can get back to church, okay? Because after being able to go to Home Depot, Costco, Walmart, Target, and the drugstore, the parts store, the auto mechanic, the head shop to buy marijuana. You could go to all those places for the last 2.5 months, but you couldn't go and say hello to God. That's kind of weird. So, all houses of worship are going to be back open starting it depends on what religion you are, I guess. Either starting Saturday or Sunday. And he says he will override the governors. The CDC is like, make sure you practice social distancing, wear a face mask, and wash your hands for 20 seconds. Sounds like good advice. I don't know how they're going to do communion. For those of you that aren't religious and don't know what communion is, it is where they take some form of bread, little pieces of bread typically, and they nibble on them. And they take either wine or unruined grape juice, and they drink that. So it's tricky business because you're dealing with food, but the restaurants are back open in several places too. Because the thing of it is this, the cootie is very real, and it's very dangerous, obviously to more specific groups than we knew overall at the beginning, even though we kind of knew from China era who it really attacks and who it doesn't. But anyways, the hysteria has been just devastating, absolutely devastating. But the good news is, if you happen to be one who needs a place to go this weekend to say, hi God, how you been? Did you miss me? Here I am. Let's do a selfie. You are now allowed / able to do that. Not Cain and Abel. Wrong version, wrong story. Okay, I'm just being silly. All right. So that's the news. Let's see what happens if the governors balk against it or if they go for it. It is very interesting to watch what happens in this country as we now have 40 million people on unemployment. 40 million people. That's a lot. The idea that we're going to just bounce right back, considering I've heard from several sources that over 100,000 businesses in America have been doomed forever. And I think of the examples from the Great Depression, the first time. Not this Great Depression, no, the original one in the 30s. And you can see in the old movies, and they would show people like, I'm ruined. I'm ruined. And typically it was the faces of people who worked the stock market. But this time around, it's not the people that work the stock market that are ruined. In fact, they're doing okay. If you got any money and you can throw it that direction, not a bad idea. Anyway, now, if they ever make a movie of this era, if we can ever make movies again, because it's going to be really hard with social distancing and face mask, but if they do, are they going to show the small business owners or whoever it is, and they're going to show them, it's like, I'm ruined. I'm totally ruined. Everything I've worked for is gone, just like they did in the 30s, except this time they're going to say, and it was done by, well, they have a lot of choices. They can blame China. They can blame their governors. They can blame their county assessors. It just depends on who's in charge for that area. Because the fact of the matter is, we were asked to close down for 15 days, and they've turned it into 2.5 months, and it's growing. We followed the rules they laid out. We didn't go to church. And yet, how many of you have heard Darth Vader over and over and over again saying, I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. Boy, you thought the Trump impression was bad. Well, that's what's happened. Americans kept their half of the deal. They locked down for 15 days, and then it was moved to a month. And they did that. And now we're over 2 months. And they changed it from we want to slow the spread of the cootie, and we want to make sure the hospitals don't get overridden, which we did. The hospitals were not overridden. New York and Jersey came really close, but they made it. And that's it. All of those hospitals that were made up in all the emergency hospitals that were created by the military in all the other cities seen 0 patients and had to be torn down. Now, obviously, that's mostly a good thing. For those of you who believe in the concept of better safe than sorry, okay. But living eternity with safe than sorry. Guys, sometimes you just have to be sorry because you have to take chances in life. So we did it, and now Trump's saying, hey, if you want to go say hi to God, you can go say hi to God. It's allowed again. We'll see if the governors try and crush him. But if they do, as this thing plays out, we get closer and closer to November. And always, always remember what happens in November. We'll see you in the future, maybe even in church, or synagogue, or mosque, or the forest, wherever you pray.